Hello and welcome to my second video tutorial. Today I'm showing you how to make a particle simulation like this. This is made with fluid particles in Blender and a force field, but how this works I'm showing you now. I've activated my screencast key so you can see what keys I press on the numpad and what mouse button, and I think we can start. First of all, let's delete the default cube and let's add a plane with Shift and A, and select the plane and go into the edit mode. This is going to be our emitter where the fluid particles can emit from. Of course you can use Suzanne or a sphere or an icosphere, but I use now a plane. Go with tab into edit mode and press W and subdivide, and once again, and move the plane up. Now we can add the particles, hit the plus, and first of all let's have a look of the time where we want to emit them from. I want to have the simulation a little bit longer than 10 seconds because now it has 250 frames, and that's about 10 seconds, a little bit less by 24 frames per second. I set this to about the double, so 500 frames, and you see it will end to emit particles at frame 200. We don't want that, so we set the end frame to about 300, or maybe even more, but I will set it to 300, and the lifetime to more than 500 because they should make a sphere like this, and if they disappear, the sphere wouldn't grow that much, so it would be the same thickness or the same radius all the time. So now we set the lifetime to 500, and we can press play and they will fall into the deep ground of Blender, or the space Blender. Now you can add a sphere on the second layer or the last layer, how you like it, but I make it on the second layer. I will add a UV sphere with 16 segments and 8 rings. You can bring up this toolbar by pressing T, and if this does not appear, you have to drag this cross a little bit. So if this is not here, you have to click this little cross or plus. So now let's say smooth and give the sphere a glossy material, a little bit of grayish color on it, not too much, because if this would be black, the sphere wouldn't reflect anything, but if this is pure white, this would reflect all of the light. So we want a little bit less than all of the light. So let's get into the solid mode and go to the plane and to the particles and go to the render tab and use our sphere. And this is too small for us, so we can set this to the double of this size. And that's fine, I think. Maybe a little bit more. 2.5. Yeah, I think that's great. And now let's add the force field. Make sure your 3D cursor is at the center. Of course you can have it something like here, but then the particles will move to this point, but I think I will have it at the center. Let's press Shift A and force field and harmonic. And let's increase the strength to about 10 or maybe 20. And the particles will move to the point a little bit under this, but yeah. But they don't make us feel like here. Now you think what's wrong, but you have to change the physics type of the particles to fluid. Physics type to fluid. So they can interact with each other and they don't collide. Oh, so they collide. Yeah, I don't know how I should say this. So you see it here. They collide and they don't overlap on this single point. And that's looking great. Maybe we can set this to a higher number. The end frame, I mean. 400. And much more particles. 3000. And that's looking very similar to that what I have made since for a year. And I really like this last wave. Yeah, you can cache it if you want. So it's not that heavy for your computer to simulate live in the viewport. Now we have our 24 frames and even more. Yeah, that's great. Let's have a look into the camera. Let's press N to get this panel and lock camera to view, so we can set this to a nice position. Yeah. And if you press F12, you see there's no lighting. We have one point light here, but that's not enough for this scene. Yeah. Let's press Shift A again and add a plane. Rotate it. And split the viewport NT and T. We can set this to rendered view. Let's increase the passport 2. I don't know how to say this in English. rendered, and yeah, and an emission shader, emission here, maybe a little bit bigger. Make sure to uncheck this box here, so you don't see this in the camera. So now you see it, and now it's not visible for the camera. Also uncheck to render the emitter. Of course you can, but I don't think you want this. Now let's see. Maybe a second light from here. And maybe a little bit more light from here, but yeah, I want to have a transparent background here, so I don't have this very bright gray in the background, so it's just brighter here. But I don't wanna lose this very nice shadows. Maybe add some more planes. Oh, make sure before you change something in the material, and you don't wanna apply this to all these 3 planes to make this a single user. And now you can only change the settings in this one. But if you change this here and you don't press single user, make single user, it will change for both planes, or for both materials. Sorry for my sometimes bad English, but yeah, this is the first time I record an English tutorial and my English is not that good. So now I think we're ready to render and to do the compositing. Will I add maybe the sphere should have a little bit of roughness. 0.07. Maybe a little bit more. 0.05. No, that's way too much. Yeah, I like this reflections a little bit more, but I don't know why. Yeah. What was that? 0.05. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's great. Oh, it's cool. It's nearly live in the render. That's the great thing of 2 times GeForce GTX 680s. But yeah, let's render this very quick and go into the node editor and the compositing nodes. Oh, I forgot this path to set. I want to have a little bit of dust or fog, and I have made this with the Z buffer of the camera. And yeah, let's do this. Shift A, empty plane axis. This is empty, just empty. And focus is empty. And F12 again. And let's have a look. That's one of the most irritating things. I don't know how to say this. I don't know the correct word for this, but yeah. You have to use a normalize node to see the Z buffer in the backdrop view, and maybe we can use this as it is to add with add and a little bit less. But no, that's not that good. What? Yeah, I haven't done this with alpha channel yet, so it's a little bit different than what I have made the last time or the last times. I think I know the problem, but it's not a problem, but it's just a mistake that I've made. Of course, you can do this by adding this Z buffer on top of this image. So you have this little white color there, and then with an alpha overnode and a white background, but I will have some shadow and variations here, so I do it like the last times I've made this. I will add a cube and scale it S and Shift C to only scale in the X and Y direction. Let's put this alpha back somehow. So rotate this plane so we have a little bit of this lighting, and go into edit mode. Go with tab into edit mode, and let's choose face and delete, so we have this plane open, or this box, and we can add a little bit of a bevel to this corners. This Control P and mouse wheel, and select this and press Shift and R. This will repeat the last comment. I don't know how to say this perfect in English, but it don't have to be perfect. So now we have a nice smooth background, and render it again. Oh my tiles a little or too, oh, how to say this, my titles are too small. 720 now. So delete these nodes because we don't have any alpha channel yeah, that looks much better, I think. So press Shift A and color and mix, and use this as vector, and you see here it starts, but you can change some of these values a little bit by using RGB curves. You can add this with Shift A and color and RGB curves. Then you can increase the contrast a little bit, and you see here it starts to add a little bit of this. That's too much, so now. And I think we are ready. Let's go to another frame to see that it looks right. Now we have it. If you render this, you should make sure the samples are enough to look that it looks not too noisy, but don't overdrop it. So you don't render I think about 5 minutes for one frame if it looks perfect at a half minute. Yeah. Export in images. If the render stops, you don't lose your render work. And output directory, tutorial, and force field underscore. Yeah. Also make sure you have plugged this connection into the compositor, because if you don't do this, if you plug this into the compositor and you render, it will just leave this image as it is now. So all this work all this work isn't included in the final image. So make sure to put this in the compositor node, the last node output. Is there anything else I have to choose? No, I don't think. You can animate your camera so it's a little bit more interesting. And yeah, I think I will animate this camera very quick, or should I show you this? No, I think you know how to make this. Let's have some short keyframes, and then I will make this this tutorial stop. Then I will stop this tutorial and render this animation, and I will give it to the end of the video. Yeah, let's animate this very quick. First of all, let's set the 3D view here in this window, and just alpha again up. Maybe start a little bit, you know. Auto keyframing, location rotation. Maybe you add or duplicate this empty, and select the empty, shift the camera and Ctrl T, and drag two constraints. So now if you select, oh, I've done it the wrong order. No. select this. So what's the right? This is the field and this is the field one. So this. We don't want a keyframe. Sorry, again. Make sure this isn't enabled. So now, select the camera, shift empty, go right empty, and Control T, and drag to constraint, and now it will work. So you can rotate your camera easily to that point you want. So yeah. So now let's get started with the animation part of the camera. Maybe the top sheet editor. Yeah. Move the camera and left click so we have a keyframe. And maybe here, let's move it to this point. I have to say that my camera animations are very, very bad. So you can make this a lot better, or much more better than I made, or I make. Yeah. I should give this another font so we can see that this is the right ending. So now I will animate this camera very quick and pause the video and render this. And yeah, I hope you like it. Maybe you can, or maybe you give me a thumb up. Sorry for my bad English again, but I hope it's going to be better if I speak more English, and maybe you will subscribe me on my channel. And yeah, thanks for watching.